Hey, welcome to episode 20 of the Outta Bounds podcast. As you can see, for the time being, at least for the first few minutes of this week's edition of Tuck Talk. Nigga, I said Tuck Talk. Shit. Out of Bounds. Out of Bounds. Wrong show, but shout out to you guys for tuning into Tuck Talk. You know, the last week's episode views were amazing. You know, we're basically approaching 2,000 viewers at the time of this recording on that episode. You know, so
Yeah. I
the
mean,
link, the cards to that video will be up above, so you guys can click on that. But as I was saying, Out of Bounds, excuse me, this is the Out of Bounds podcast. I go by the name of Della Fashionista, man, the editor here at True Culture Magazine. Here alongside me is the man in the middle, Mr. Donnie. Do not call me Donovan Wilkins. I got no Austin. He's still part of Out of Bounds, ladies and gentlemen. He's still part of Out of Bounds, but he's a youngin. So he has some
recover
obligations.
from Afropunk.
Recover from Afro Punk and all that good stuff. So hopefully we'll get his thoughts on his experience at Afro Punk momentarily once he has the opportunity to get settled and all that. But for the time being, we have Donovan, who also attended a festival this past weekend. So I'm allowing him to tell about his experience at Government Ball before we get into this week's episode. So how was Government Ball, Donovan?
It was the lineup. I gotta say, it wasn't for me. Like I said, I went there to like listen to a lot of bands that are like lower down on the lineup and stuff like that. They had
The
Billie
under
Eilish.
the radar.
Yeah, you know me, like under the radar.
Yo, why you wait sidebar? But why you look like you in heaven? I see nothing but white people.
Oh, yeah, that's my light. Look, man.
Look like you in heaven.
Looks like God shining down on me.
Look like you about to transition, or you missing that.
But yeah, like it was fun. Everything was fun. I ate good, slept good. It's always a fun time just waking up in New York, just walking the streets while everybody's like still huddled in their apartments and condos and stuff like that. It was great. It was great.
You wasn't in a real New York though. You was in the tourist New York.
Yeah, but I mean, I was over there by Queens, and that was like my first time over there. So
Queens ain't valid.
That it ain't valid.
I know a lot of great people from Queens. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who you are, especially you in particular. But not you as a you in particular, but somebody else.
Yeah, because I ain't from Queens.
yeah, but it just ain't valid.
Yeah, well, shit. Yeah, I mean, I stayed on the tourist side. I had an apartment, not an apartment, a hotel by Central Park. So got up
Smart
early.
choice, because the hotels in Queens are much cheaper than the hotels in Manhattan. So that's smart.
Are they really?
Really?
So yeah, it was great. Always have a fun time in New York. So
awesome, that's awesome. All right, so since I know that you're mostly like the under the radar guy, like, did you see anybody that you feel like can make like for a nice feature under the radar?
yeah, I'm looking into contacting Nation of Languages. They have a pretty unique sound. They were there at Governor's Ball. There's one other that I can't remember their name, but I wrote it down in my notes. What?
Nah, let me chill. I ain't gonna say
No.
I don't want to mess up the chances at the scoop, so I ain't gonna say.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, keep that to yourself. Because I find great music.
Yeah, you definitely do.
But they're good. They're good. So yeah, hoping to get into them for a while.
Okay, so before we get to the best and the worst from week 3 of the NFL, what did you say was the best and the worst when you experienced at Governor's Ball?
The best experience was listening to Orville Peck. If anybody knows me, knows that I love this gay cowboy. He recently partnered with Beyonce for her Ivy Park collection or rodeo collection, Houston collection. The worst part, I would say, the lines for food and like just the traditional cliche festival goers, and it's just
What do you mean by this cliche festival goer? Like,
I don't want to say the name because that could be come off as racist, but it's just
don't say it. Don't
yeah,
say
yeah.
it.
I'll just say the cliche festival goers.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into our first topic of this week's episode. By the way, once no arrives, if he arrives between the time that we're recording this, we'll get his thoughts on Afropunk. But for now, let's move on to the best and worst from week 3 of the NFL. Now, I'm gonna go first on this because I understand like you was out having a great time, throughout the weekend. I know the same for No.
Yeah.
And me, I was being old boring Liddell, old man Liddell, just up in the crib watching football. So I have, I basically guess you say I could carry this segment here. For me, the best from week 3, excuse me, of the NFL season of this NFL season thus far was my Baltimore Ravens. You know, Justin Tucker. I'm not sure you heard or saw, but Justin Tucker broke the NFL record for
I did hear
longest
about
field goal kick.
that.
It was looking kind of scary. I'm like, oh man, we about to lose to the Detroit Lions. And by the way, like I actually like this Lions team this year. Like they showed grit. Dan Campbell was shown to be like a fine head coach so far. But
Not fine enough, man. I believe they're 0-3.
they're on 3, but context matters though because there's Detroit Lions on 3 when they're competitive, and then there's New York Jets on 3. When a quarterback just looks terrible, you know what I'm saying? So there's a difference, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Justin Tucker, man, all-told Matt Tuck. He came through for us. Obviously, it was a game that should not have even been that close. Hollywood Brown drops a lot, some key balls down the stretch, But I'm glad we was able to get the dub, man. Like a dub is a dub. Right now we're 2-1. We're getting ready to face the Denver Broncos. But the thing is about this Ravens team, that we could easily be 3-0, depending on how things went with the Raiders game, and we could also be 0-3. Because Mahomes, with the whole fumble again, and week 2 gets in that matchup, they need was a field goal. They would have got that. Most likely they would have won the game. And then with this game, where it's the Detroit Lions, like there was a delay of game penalty that wasn't even called. We got away with that, and that was on 4th down. Lamar Jackson throws it up to Sammy Watkins. They get ready for the field goal. Justin Tucker takes the kick and basically hits the goalpost and ricochets back into the net. It was one of the craziest field goals, man. But the Baltimore Ravens, they are my winners for week 3. Also, the Los Angeles Rams, because I have 2 teams. Being Brady and the Bucks, Matthew Stafford looking really good. I was kind of worried about that pickup. I'm like, man, I know Goff wasn't the best. He has his issues with McVay, but Matthew Stafford, he never really won shit, But he's been looking pretty good.
I mean,
so far.
But people hold Matt Stafford to like I won't say high value, but he's seen around the league and scouts and head coaches as a good quarterback. Like you can't go wrong with Matt Stafford.
He really is, but so far he's proven like what he could look like if he has a competent head coach and a team. Be honest, so far so good. As for my worst of the week, I have to give it to the New York Jets, man. Like they are looking terrible. Zach Wilson, man, that pick has not looked good so far. And the Chicago Bears. So there's like my co-losers of the week. The Chicago Bears, like the offense looked terrible. Like Justin Fields, I don't know. I don't know, but capping for Justin Fields, he's been like a Justin Fields shooter, but and I can't really blame him so much, because like it's coaching at the end of the day, and that with that offensive line, like what can you do? But good lord, man, like the rookie quarterbacks, I guess you could say rookie quarterback as a whole is the worst for the weekend. None of them has really looked.
Yeah, they're not looking too good.
Yeah, but let's say as far for you, like, cause I'm also you had the opportunity to at least see some highlights.
I caught.
So what's the best and worst for you?
I caught some of the red zone up in the hotel. Shout out to Jackson for the hookup with that. Give me all your credentials to log into the NFL Red Zone. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're one of those. You're one of those that takes people credentials to log in.
He gave me the hookup. I was like, yo, I'm not home. Like I can't watch any of the shit, national broadcast or what have you. And he's like, yo, here's my hookup. Like, got a few minutes in the hotel. Like, look it up. I'm like, all right, cool, appreciate you.
Oh
Um,
my god!
so
Shout out to Jackson.
yeah. Shout out to Jackson. I will say Justin Herbert was probably my best of the week. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think threw for 35, 350 plus yards, I believe. I would say out of like the rookie quarterback draft, it's looking like maybe Jalen Hurts is probably the only. Well, he's not part
Jalen
of this
Hurts was
group.
last
Yeah,
year's.
I'm getting names mixed up. Excuse me, I'm still on festival time. But yeah, I will say Justin Herbert performed exceptionally well. And my worst that I heard about on first take was probably Justin Fields. 50 yards. I mean, at what point do you take this guy out? It seems like Nagy.
Who you go? Who you go put in his place? Because
That's
Dawes
what
is
I'm
hurt.
saying. It looked like Nagy is saying he doesn't know which quarterback he's going to start in week 4. It's looking like it's flipping a coin at this point.
Nagy set him up to fail, man. Because I don't really think
You
Nagy
think so?
really wanted to kill. Yeah, man. I think sometimes, like, I'm not sure you ever been in a situation or a setting where like you're surrounded by somebody that does not necessarily believe in you per se, but like an opportunity presents itself and they kind of like are forced to give you an opportunity, but they're
Oh
trying to
yeah,
sabotage that opportunity. I'm like, see, I told you this person was no good. Person
right.
wasn't
Yeah.
ready. I don't feel like he put his best foot forward to make sure Justin Fields is having like a successful
So
transition
you
from
feel like
college to
they're
NFL.
the Bears aren't giving him enough like resources
They have the
around.
resources. David Montgomery is a pretty good running back. Damian Williams is another pretty good running back. Tariq Cohen's a nice scat back. Allen Robinson is a Pro Bowl receiver. They re-signed him. He's their top guy. They have speed at receivers. Jimmy Graham, he's a vet, but he's still a pretty solid tight end. It's just a fucking offensive line. That's the
Yeah,
problem. You know,
yeah,
like
that's true.
like it's hard for a quarterback to get the ball out to the right read when he got pressure in his face every 2 seconds.
Need a better O line. Yeah,
Like Miles
I,
Garrett had 4.5 sacks. Jadavian Clowney had 2 sacks. Like, and
I,
those are just the top two
I've
pass rushers.
been, I've been closely watching the Colts over this season, mainly because Carson Wentz, and I went to see how much of a fall he would take, and it seems like the Eagles are looking like the winners in this trade. I mean, people are saying depending on how their season goes, that pick will fall to like a second round. In my eyes, that's still better than having Carson Wentz on there, the injury prone. I mean, he took I think it was 2 ankle sprains last week.
Yeah, that dude's a warrior though, man. To be playing with two bad ankles,
Yeah.
that's a warrior right there. Like I remember over the past month and a half, I had plantar fasciitis and I couldn't even walk at all. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, people are saying that he was rushed into this week.
Oh, he
The
definitely was.
the quick turnaround with his injury and the videos that they show of him running and all that stuff, and it just seems like it's a little rushed. Because at the end of the day, who else are they going to put in his place? Jacob Urchin or whatever his name is,
Jacob Eason,
Eason.
quarterback out of the University of Georgia.
So
Go
it's, I
Dogs.
mean, you put him in this mindset that he's the golden age of the Colts coming forward, and it's not looking that good. And I'm on their social media accounts every day, and it's just like Eagles fans are saying, "How's that pick coming out?" So it's
I mean, the Eagles could get clapped tonight because, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, at the time of this recording, to the Monday Night Football game has not been played yet between the Cowboys and the Eagles. We'll get into our predictions later on in a few, actually, in a few moments momentarily. But yeah, like you never know. Like the y'all Eagle fan, y'all could be laughing up right now, but
yeah.
you know,
I think Eagles fans are just happy to see that it's not just us. Like putting like these bad like reputation on Carson Wentz. It's like no, he's like actually he's good. He's a good quarterback, but he's
He hasn't
just
been good
injury.
since he's still living off of what year was that? 2017 or 2018
2018, yeah.
when he was like run up for league MVP. He's still living off of that.
So yeah, I mean,
Nah, it had to be 2017 because that was the year y'all won the Super Bowl.
oh, are you talking about the year we won the Super Bowl was the year when he was MVP. Oh well, leading
He's
MVP until he went down,
yeah. So he
and then we
hasn't really
had
been
Nick
good.
Foles take
He hasn't really
over.
been. He hasn't really been good since then.
Yeah, and people will blame our organization, but it's like it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, I've been following that. So
Okay, but what do we think about the Kansas City Chiefs right now? Because right now they're 1-2. They could easily be 3-0. They could also easily be on 3. You know, like they've been.
I think if
It's the Super Bowl because there's been like this thing where like the team that loses the Super Bowl, how it's hard for them to get back to the playoffs the next year. Because
right,
we've seen it like with the Atlanta Falcons. We've seen it. I mean, with this, yeah, we've seen it with the Falcons. We've seen
right,
it with the Patriots. They always, even when they lose the Super Bowl, they always find a way to get back in.
yeah.
But we seen it with my Rams, the Los Angeles Rams. After we lost to the Patriots, we did not get back to the playoffs the next year. And the San Francisco 49ers the year after that, where they lost to the
Eagles
Chiefs.
have trouble. We made it to the wild card the following year, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not talking teams that won Super Bowl to make the to like end up back in play. I'm talking about the team that lose because the
oh,
thing is the loser have a hard time getting back the next year. You know what
because
I
I
mean?
mean they're trying to find pieces. They're either trading away pieces who fell short, or they're like I feel like they're moving too much things around, and it's like if you made it to the Super Bowl but lost, I mean, do you have to do that much change to your offense or defense?
I mean, yes. If you're the loser,
I don't see
if
it.
you're not first, you're last.
But yeah, if you made it to the Super Bowl, how much change do you need to do? Maybe I guess acquire like another star piece, or but like dismantling your whole team after losing the Super Bowl. It's
But
just
The Chiefs, they didn't do that though. They did not dismantle their team. They reshuffled their offensive line, you know.
yeah, that is true.
But outside of that, it's mostly like this. It's the same team.
I mean, regardless, I feel like we're going to see the Chiefs in the West finals anyway. So
With the West Finals,
I mean
the AFC Championship game.
AFC championship game.
We're not talking about basketball.
Fuck. The AFC championship game, and plus they're looking to sign Josh Gordon, so that's another piece in itself. Just another fucking weapon for Patrick Mahomes to just sling to.
They don't need Josh Gordon.
They don't need him, but I mean, I'm not sure if the Kansas reached out to him or he
And
reached
Josh
out
Gordon,
to.
honestly, he's still living off of 2012.
Yeah, but
That
people,
one great year that he
yeah,
had in Cleveland, like he's just living off of that. Like
and people are saying, "Oh, he deserves a chance." I'm like, no, he doesn't.
he had plenty of chances.
At this point, just hang up.
I think he's a great talent. He should definitely be in the league, but I don't get the hype on Josh Gordon anymore.
Right.
But you said that you think the Chiefs they're still gonna basically be in it to the end, but right now the Raiders are 3-0, the Chargers are 3-0, and the Broncos are 3-0.
I mean,
Do I think those teams are better than the Chiefs?
yeah, I
No.
was gonna say it's the Broncos. I mean,
No,
but I will give
don't do
props.
that. Don't do that to the
Yeah,
Broncos now. They got a good defense.
I will give them props. They out there
And
balling.
Teddy Bridgewater been pretty good so far. The Chargers, I think, are for real. I think
Yeah.
no, the Chargers are not undefeated because they lost to the Cowboys. The Chargers are actually 2-1. My fault. The Chargers are 2-1. The Raiders are 3-0. The Broncos are 3-0. And the Chiefs right now are 1-2.
So who you think is going to be the first one to take the L?
Between the Raiders and the Broncos,
Yeah. or between any of the 3-0 teams in the West.
Well, there's only two 3-0 teams: the Raiders and the Broncos. The Chargers are 2-1. Cause I forgot that they lost to the Cowboys in week 2, so they're 2-1. The Chiefs are 1-2. Now you're asking me like which one between the Raiders and the Broncos, which one of those two teams are gonna take their
Yeah.
first L? I'll say the Denver Broncos most likely because I like the Raiders' weapons on offense a bit better. Because Derek Carr's been playing pretty good. You got Hunter Renfro. You got Darren Wallace, who's been one of the best tight ends
I
in the
mean,
past
Derek
couple of
Carr
years.
is usually slept on in the league, man.
Yeah, he's underrated. It's just the thing with him is like he's the all-time leading passer in Raiders history, but he never been to the playoffs. It's
Yeah.
kind of like he's kind of like the Matthew Stafford of the AFC. In a sense.
Yeah.
You know, Stafford did play in the playoffs, I think once or twice, but
He
in
just
regards
has
to
that reputation of being like really good, but just not doing nothing to like
yeah,
capitalize on it.
yeah, like those stats don't really mean nothing
Yeah.
because the team is so trash. But Denver, they've been like the defense is pretty good. Teddy Bridgewater, I like Teddy Bridgewater, but he's a game managing quarterback. He's not like a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, you know. And I like Teddy, you know, but I think that the Broncos will be the first team to lose their O. But in regards to who I think will be in it at the end, and I like the Chargers. I like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are the best team in the division right now. I think Brandon Staley is a great coach. You know, they almost gave the game away. They literally almost gave the game away because they kept trying to go for a fourth down and not which they converted, but then instead of going for a guaranteed kicking the field goal, you know, field goals aren't guaranteed, so I shouldn't say that. But they went for the touchdown instead, and they basically gave the Chiefs time to drive the ball down the field. But luckily, it didn't work out in their favor anyway, and the Chargers still ended up winning the game. So they need to work on their game management skills because they easily could have lost that game, and no team knows how to lose. If there's anything outside the Detroit Lions that know how to lose a game in heartbreaking fashion, it's the Chargers. You know, so they need to be careful in regards to that. But I think that they're the best team in the division. I like Keenan Allen. I like Mike Williams at receiver. I like Jared Cook. I like their defense, especially if Derwin James is healthy for the whole year. They got Joey Boza. You know, so they're a good squad. They're a good squad. But in regards to the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs they might get hit by the whole Super Bowl loser curse. And Andy Reid, unfortunately, tragically, he had to end up in the hospital. I'm hearing that right now he's doing pretty good. He's stable right now, but I wish all the best to Andy Reid. But I'm also that had to be scary for them. You know, your head coach basically having a health issue. You know, at the end of the game. So right now, things like the cheese, like the thing about the cheese is they should be a playoff team, but you just never know because the way the ball been bouncing lately for them, like Mahomes has turned the ball over more than ever in the early part of the year. He never doing this many interceptions in the month of September.
Yeah.
The defense isn't really all that good, so it's like it's crazy, but they're so talented that you like ain't no way the team gonna miss the
Right,
playoffs.
yeah, exactly. It's like
But
you look at that team on paper and you're like, oh, they obviously going to get a playoff spot, but it's not shaking out that way. But
it's possible. I mean, like look at the San Francisco 49ers. Like that was a team that when they lost Super Bowl, like they're definitely gonna be back. They ain't make the playoffs the next year. Not saying that could the same happen with the Chiefs. You never know, especially when you have three teams ahead of you and right now in your division, and they're all pretty solid football teams. Even though I think out of all of them, the Broncos is probably the worst out of the group, and they're not a bad team at all. You know, the Broncos are not a bad football team, ladies and gentlemen. They're pretty good, but I like the Raiders a little bit more, and I think the Chargers are the best team overall in the division right now. But the Chiefs are the most talented. They have the best quarterback. They have the best tight end in the division. They have the best receiver core. Well, I don't want to say receiver core. Tyreek Hill's the best receiver in the division. But come down to the defense, Chargers have a better defense. Broncos have a better defense. And it looks like the Raiders have a better defense. So there you go. So that's where we're leaning. That's where we lean off with that. But let's get into our second main topic. Unless you got anything that you want to add to that.
no,
All right. So let's get to our second main topic of this week's episode of Out of Bounds, and that's what should the NBA do about players refusing the vax or the jab, as we're gonna say. Shout out to gotta make sure we stay within the guidelines. That way, YouTube don't come down on us. So, because we already heard the reports about Andrew Wiggins, how he's unvaccinated at this point. He doesn't want to get the jab. Got guys like Steve A. Smith saying that Wiggins should get traded. Like it's not a hard decision. Kyrie Irving reportedly, he's not at Brooklyn Nets training camp. He's not attending media calls or anything like that because of the whole safety protocols. Here that he might end up retiring. You got Rui Hachimura. He's away from the Wizards due to like a personal issue that nobody knows whether it's family related or jab related. But let me ask you, like, what do you think the NBA should do about players refusing the jab or the vax?
I mean, we can't tell. Well, the U.S. government can't tell the NBA how to run their company necessarily. So they have their own rules, just like any other job. Follow them or do what Kyrie does and retire. There's
Well,
what,
here's the thing: Kyrie Irving has not officially retired just yet.
or he's thinking about it.
I mean, if the league is coming down like this, then what other choice? He's basically being defiant in his stance of not getting the jab. Then what is he gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, what you he can't play his home games in New York because New York has their mandate and stuff like that, I believe. So yeah, it's follow the rules or look for another job. I mean,
But let me put like, are you surprised? Because we have our own Kyrie Irving here on in our show, and no also as we call him, young Kyrie, and some of his antics, like it's not to compare to Kyrie Irving's, by the way, not to compare to Kyrie's, but was cut down our own Kyrie's like, all right, like we're not too surprised, let's just be him. But we come down to like the actual Kyrie Irving, like, are we really surprised at this
yeah,
point?
that's why I rolled my eyes. It's like it's
Like it's always
something
something.
every day with this man, and I don't mean that like in the bad way or like in the bad sense of like if you're having this much trouble with your job and like professional life or whatever you want to call it, retire and just donate your time and money to like charities or what have you. Like I don't know what to say about this man because it's like every single day he's like in the media, not participating in media uh, day or refusing to take the vaccine or taking some
Jab,
other yeah, the jab
gotta say
or
the jab.
just like I don't know, he's becoming so much more of a nuisance than anything else. And at this point, like, bro, like you either take it or find another job. Like I'm pretty sure he has enough money and investments to like find something else to do. He can become a NBA analysis, even though I don't
I
think
don't
that's
see
what he
that.
would do.
I don't see that because
Yeah.
like ESPN, they always give Kyrie shit. TNT, Turner Sports, they give Kyrie shit. So I don't really see him.
Yeah, and he doesn't fuck with none of them. So it's like I don't know. It's just like every time I see his name pop up trending, it's always something new that goes against his personal beliefs or his religion or I don't know. Like I don't know what to do about him. But if I was the Nets, I say fuck it and cut him. Like at this point, it's like I don't know. Like what do you want, my guy?
Okay, but you know how we was talking about this list last week episode about the sports industry NBA top 100.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving came in at number 19. So do you think for the Brooklyn Nets, are you trying to say that the according to sports industry, the 19th best player in the world is not worth the headache?
I would say in the Bucks case, I mean not the Bucks, in the Nets case, no. Because at the end of the day, they still have KD and they still have James Harden. And this is not to say that Kyrie is a bust or he's trash or anything like that. Just adding Kyrie is just somewhat of an overkill. So they can still get by with KD and Harden. Like at this point, Kyrie is becoming more of an afterthought and a headache to Nets fans or whatever or what have you than seen as a piece to a championship team. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, but I know you said that maybe like KD and Harden could be enough. KD is injury prone at this point. We know he's not going to play 82 games. James
Yeah.
Harden basically had his. Harden is mostly a durable player, but last year was a year where, like, okay, like injuries kind of like derailed him in a sense. It also
I mean, it
played the
derailed
fact.
the whole team.
It also played the fact into Brooklyn's championship chances because although they didn't have Kyrie last year during the series against the Milwaukee Bucks, especially toward the latter half of the end, KD
Sure.
was basically like a one man show out there because Harden he was hobbled. He was like 60% of what we known for him to be as James Harden, like the scorer and all that type of stuff. But I think personally that the Brooklyn Nets are better with the duo of KD and Kyrie rather than KD and Harden. Because at least with KD and Kyrie, you have two champions. You see what I'm saying? Like Harden is a guy like we've seen him in the biggest moments. He come up short. He starts pressing. Like Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors, Western Conference Finals. He couldn't buy a bucket in the fourth quarter.
I mean, yeah, I understand that to that extent. What else has? I mean, the same could be said about Kyrie because what else has he won since he left Cleveland with LeBron?
Oh, all right. That's a different subject, but let's go there. Are you trying to say that LeBron James carried Kyrie Irving to a championship? Because I pretty much recall Kyrie Irving basically hitting a shot that basically
No,
sealed the
I'm not.
series
I'm
in their
not
favor.
saying that he carried him. I'm just saying that.
I'll tell you, the Cleveland Cavaliers they don't win a championship without Kyrie Irving. They
All
don't.
right, put it this way: Kyrie
They
hasn't
probably
won.
and they probably would have won in 2015 as well had Kyrie not been hurt for that series.
So put it this way: since both LeBron and Kyrie left the Cleveland, so far LeBron has won one ring and Kyrie has won none. I'm not saying that he was carried, but I'm saying he hasn't been the same since he left.
Who's playing with Anthony Davis?
Are we going to use that analogy? Because who's who's playing
Who
with
who's
KD and James Harden? I
okay?
mean, yeah, you can
They
use
would have
the
won. They
you
would
can
have won
yeah
last.
go ahead and use the injury. Oh, he was injured.
Not
Come on.
hold on. Not even so much that if KD's foot was fully if he was KD's feet was not that big, they beat the
Whose
Brooklyn. They
fault is
beat
that?
Milwaukee.
Whose
It's
fault is
nobody's.
that?
It's
Shit
genetics. But
happens. Shit
it's
happens.
genetics. But I'm
I'm
just
just
saying.
saying, since both left the Cleveland, LeBron has won one ring and Kyrie has won none. I'm just saying, you making it seem like since
You ain't
Kyrie
saying this.
left
You ain't.
Cleveland that he had this surge of superstar caliber playing when he hasn't did shit in Boston, and so far he hasn't did really nothing in Brooklyn. So it's like, and he was not that good before LeBron got came back to Cleveland.
I'm about to end the
So
episode. I'm about to end the episode. He is not that good.
no, I was like, he was not that good when LeBron came back to Cleveland. He was not making waves in with the Cavaliers when LeBron was in Miami.
He was hurt. They came close to making the playoffs one time.
One time,
Yeah,
but look, like I'm not trashing Kyrie because I actually love him
you
as
are
a player,
trashing. You are
and I
trashing.
think he's a good dude. I'm just
I
saying.
guarantee you right now, you'll want him in Philly. Give me
I
that
mean,
100%. Give me 100%. You know that. You know
I
you
would have
said
said that 2 days ago in the group chat, but now hearing about this mandate and stuff like that, it's like, fuck, dude. Like, I mean, this dude is never happy, and it's just not somebody.
That is
I
true though. That
I
is true.
I don't want it
No,
to
no,
sound like
I think Kyrie is happy because he has a beautiful lady in his life. He has a beautiful child, so he's a family man. He's a father,
yeah.
so he has that to be happy about. But in terms of like in the public eye, would come down to basketball. I could see your point. It does not seem like
Yeah,
he'd be
and
happy.
I don't mean it to sound like oh like I know there's shit going on in the world. Like it's like I don't know how to say it. It's like you clearly don't like basketball that much. So why don't you do something else? Or like I don't know. Like he just needs to figure his shit out. Take a year off or something.
Okay, so basically, like your overall thoughts in regards to like, what the NBA should do. Do you think that player that just refuses to get the vax or the jab, you think that they should just be cut, released? Like, where you at with it?
Um you have I guess three choices. You can either get it, be cut, and trade it, or retire.
Okay, but what good is it being traded if all NBA
And
franchises
that's what
feel
I'm
the same way?
saying. And no other NBA team is really going to pick them up if they have their own mandates in place with their city and their team and stuff like that. So you can get traded. You're just going to go somewhere else, and they're just going to have the same amount of problems. So, and speaking with Bradley Beal, there's a lot of rumors going on around the NBA locker rooms that there's a microchip in the vaccine and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's 100% true or just a rumor, but that's what I heard. So it's
I
like,
mean, I mean, you're vaccinated, right?
yeah,
Do you think you have a microchip in you?
no, and this is what I don't understand when people say, "Oh,
I just got
we're
my first dose of the vaccine last
oh you
week.
did."
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I know you was against it.
all right. I wasn't so much get from the standpoint of like being like a conspiracy theorist.
You just wanted more research, or just
I
more.
wa- I wanted more research, but obviously if you're gonna get more research. You have to do the research yourself. Like nobody's gonna give the research to you. So that's what I did. And two, I'm also due to the fact that okay, like this thing has been around for like about a year and a half now. Knock on wood, I've been navigating pretty well. Like I'm
Yeah,
outside. I'm dealing with people on a daily basis, stuff like that. Like so far so good. Like like maybe I had COVID at one point in time. I didn't even know it. Because I
yeah.
know
Because
some.
I mean, our age is our age group. You can have it. Like you can have it and not know it. It also pass it off to somebody else. That's what
Right.
something they were saying like very early on in the stages.
Yeah.
But
And then I was like, okay, like what's the purpose of getting it? You can still catch COVID regardless.
yeah,
I
but
don't know for that can't.
it's it's not to like it's not like COVID is the zombie virus or anything like that, and you take the cure and you're automatically cured. No, it's to prevent you from being near fatal with symptoms and ending up in the hospital. It's not supposed to cure all be all. Like it's to decrease the chances of you ending up in the hospital and being
And
like
to that,
dead.
and I understood that. And to that, I was like, okay, well, oh shit, we said the words. All right, fuck it. YouTube don't come down on us. And by the way, shout out to those of you that listen to us on audio platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. I haven't shout you guys out that much lately, but I appreciate you guys that listen to the pod as well as watch us on YouTube. But in regards to that, my regards to that is okay, like yeah, like all right, it reduces the symptoms, but okay, what if let's say I already have the antibodies, right? And if I had it or not, I didn't end up in the hospital or anything like that. So why should I go out and get something that might not be conducive to me because I don't necessarily need it? That's what
Well,
I was thinking at the time
you
as
mean if
well.
you already had like antibodies that prevented
Yeah,
the
yeah.
I mean, I can't speak to your health, overall health, and stuff like that, but I will say the thing about the microchips being in the curing what have you, since you're born, in the hospital, you are given a social security number. I've been on Earth 25 years. If the government wants to
Wait,
find
what?
me,
That's
27
just
years.
27. What the fuck?
27 years.
I know your age, but
I
wait,
mean,
you li-
last year I thought
wait,
I was 28, so
wait, hold on. Not only did you lie about you not going to about you being in college now, but you're
I
lying about your age.
well, I said I went to college for a year and a half, but I am 27. So I've been on this earth for 27 years. If the government wants to find me, they can. Just like we had a couple of years back with the Freedom Act and then the SA. I mean, I carry a fucking phone everywhere I go, as do everybody else. You log into Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that shit is being tracked. So to say that, oh, I don't want the government to track you, they already tracking you. They've been tracking you. The reports came out a couple of years ago with the NSA of them listening on people's phone calls. Like all this shit that you are trying to get away from, they already know about you. Like you have a number identified with you since birth. Like there's no chance that the government will put a microchip in the cure at the expense of tracking you more. Like you carry a phone everywhere you go, like you're on the computer, like all this electronic is being tracked. So I think that's such a stupid and fucking dumb ass response to people who say, oh well, I don't want the government tracking. You have a social security number, right? You have an ID, right? You have a driver's license, you have a home, like you have bills, you have a job. If the government wants to find you, they can. We don't need to inject something into your arm. So that's what I want to say.
True that, true that. But I'll say that the epiphany for me was the realization that okay, like ever since I was a little jit, I basically had to take vaccines. You know, because you cannot go to school unless you're vaccinated.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's another thing.
so then I'm like,
Like
all right,
people,
well, like, okay, this ain't the first vaccine, so why am I making this a big deal?
right? Like, come on, like,
So I basically just gave it. Just like, all right, well, fuck it. Especially considering the fact that I couldn't go to New York Fashion Week. My bad on that, Tuck, because I wasn't vaccinated.
yeah.
So
So
it was like, well, if this is how it's gonna be, then it is what. My
well,
only
I
thing,
mean,
my only thing is that I one thing I heard about the vaccine that I'm hoping does not happen to me is that you end up becoming sterile and it kind of ruins your sperm that you might not be able to reproduce later on. That's my only
I'm not looking
concern.
to have kids regardless if that did to
Well,
be true.
I'm trying to have a football team.
Well, no, I don't think it does that. But then
I,
again,
I'm
any
trying to
other
Nick Cannon.
questions?
I'm trying to Nick
any
Cannon
other
in the world.
any other questions? Please make sure you check out your doctors just for everything COVID, and just make sure you do your research first.
Yes, and we'll also put a link into the description box in regards to like the proof and the links to like all that way you guys could do your own research, kind of like the way I had to do. So I didn't give in for no stupid reason because I want to like go to like restaurants and stuff like that. It just well, it just became one of those things like well, actually no, I'm lying. That is part of the case because not so much that not to say that I really go out to eat a lot per se, but let's say if I'm out at like at a social gathering, a network gathering, and it's something that could lead to like good business, you know, for myself or for Tug, whatever the case may be, and
I
I can't
mean,
get in because I don't have a
you did it for
vaccination card.
work.
Yeah, so
You
that's
did it for
basically what
work.
it is.
Nothing wrong with
That's
that.
yeah. But let's get into our last segment of the show, and we're not gonna spend too much time because these are more lighthearted seven. But knowing you, Donovan, you might go on a rant on this.
No,
So
no, I'm good. I'm
you're
gonna keep it concise. I'm gonna keep it concise.
all right. So our guy, your guy, Ben Simmons, over the weekend, his teammates Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, they were all ready to take a jet to LA to talk this man off the ledge, and he basically told them, "I'm good. Don't bother."
I'm
You know?
good.
So, like, what are your thoughts on Ben Simmons being defiant in his stance that he wants to get out of Philly?
I mean, I
And
can't
also the
curse.
latest workout videos out there. That
I
him pulling up from deep shooting threes and all that. What do you think about that as well?
can't. Joel Embiid said something really funny in media today.
Oh,
About
Danny Green, you're trash.
yeah, that, but also about the workout videos. A reporter asked him, how does he feel about like the workout videos that seems to circulate during the summer? And Joel Embiid said, "Yeah, I think we all seen the videos. That would help in the season," and just left it at that. I thought that was pretty funny. But if you're mad at the front office, that's totally understandable. If you're mad at the fans, that's totally understandable. But when your franchise player and a group of all other guys decide to reach out to you in LA and come speak to you one on one and you turn them away, it doesn't make you look as good as you think it does. It doesn't make you look tough. Because,
Makes you look very immature.
yeah, like no matter what happened during the summer and the playoffs and stuff like that, you don't want to talk to the fans. Cool. Put on some Beats by Dre that I know you fucking get sponsored for, but you trash anyway. Put those on and block out all the noise and stuff like that and keep it pushing. If you don't want to deal with the front office, cool. Go through Rich Paul and his dumbass and
Damn.
make all the business deals and do it like that. But you don't turn away your teammates because at the end of the day, you're still technically part of this team.
True that.
So that just shows immature, and I hope the rest of the sports world and Twitter, who constantly criticizes Sixers fan and say that we're hazardous and toxic, I hope they see that. But it's
I
like,
mean, but at the same time, just to play devil's advocate,
please,
his
please.
head coach. Because I remember when they asked once they got learned about the Atlanta Hawks, is Ben Simmons? Do you see Ben Simmons being like your point guard going to the new season? And Doc Rivers was like, I don't know at this point.
No, he said I can't answer that at this certain time. We
That's
don't know
basically
the
said
answer
I
to.
don't know.
No, that's not. That's not. That's saying after Game
Tomato,
7,
tomatoes.
emotions are all high. I cannot answer that for you. We literally just lost and got our ass kicked by a
But
team
he was
that was
defending. But he
supposed
was
to.
defending Ben Simmons the whole time. 'Cause remember, everybody
Yeah, but
why
it
not
seems
just
like
bench Ben Simmons? And he's like, are you kidding me? Bench Ben Simmons?
but it seems like
It's like keep that same energy.
everybody forgets. It seems like everybody on Twitter forgets that Ben Simmons has been being defended by Doc Rivers the whole year and for the past 4 years. But
That's cool.
suddenly he says one thing, one bad thing in the press, or
All right,
however you want to take it, and suddenly we're
you
the
got
bad guys, and he wants
you
to
got
be traded.
you gotta look at it like this, right? That's like being in the casino with somebody, right? And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like they probably might be losing a little bit of money, but they're like, all right, cool. Like we can still rebound from it. Like we still got. By the way, feed your dog is barking like crazy.
But
But
that's not my dog. That's
feed that motherfucker. But
I
anyway,
didn't even realize that.
I'll peep everything. But anyway, like it's like all right, like yeah, like I'm losing some money, but all right, like we can still win, and I still got some chips left to play with. At the end of that, basically what happened with like this is the equivalent. Ben Simmons lost everything. Sixers they got eliminated from the playoffs. He didn't play well. Then it's like you being like that boy, like you know, you got your boys behind, like oh yeah, like we still gonna rock with you, like you still are a guy. But then now that you don't have nothing, you lost everything. Now they act like they don't know you no more. They don't want to associate with you no more. That's how it was to me with Doc and Ben Simmons. Like yeah, like Doc he's defending them in the media, defending Ben in the media, but okay, you're still in the series. You still need this guy. You still need him to like be mentally locked in on the
See, I
task
don't
at
believe
hand.
that
But
because
now that they got eliminated, like and he ain't play well, like oh well, I don't know now because
he
there's no more
defended
leverage.
he defended him until the end, and I don't think he said anything necessarily bad
That's the
about Ben
thing.
Simmons.
That's the thing. He defended him until the end. The end was the serious. After that,
So what? All right, so your star point guard decides to pass it off under the basket,
yeah,
and a lot of other things happen down the line towards the end of the series. Basically,
yeah,
he choked in the playoffs, the second
yeah,
round,
yeah.
and you're asked a question minutes after the game ends and you say, I don't know the answer to that question? Is that bad or good?
To me,
Or
it's
does
not.
that just say we don't know the answer to that yet? We
To me,
literally just got our ass kicked.
to me, it's appropriate, but at the end of the day, it's like,
Okay, then.
wait, hold on, time out. I'm playing
Please,
devil's
please.
advocate, nigga. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Because I'm on Twitter and I'm constantly defending these comments, and it's just like the main thing I hear is that the Sixers, I mean the fans didn't support him, but we were supporting him for the 4 years when everybody was calling him a bust. But suddenly he loses the series and Doc Rivers makes a questionable comment, and suddenly it's everybody's the biggest Ben Simmons supporter.
I bet you gotta look at this. Today's athletes, they like to be coddled.
Soft.
Yeah, that's all. Like you said it, not me. But I'm just the advocate. Yeah, but like they like to be coddled. So Ben Simmons, I think it would have done more for Ben Simmons if Doc Rivers still would have defended him, even after getting eliminated in the playoffs, and the fact that Ben Simmons did not play up to his standards.
No, no.
Like I get it, in the real world that does not happen, but I think for Ben Simmons, he wanted to see that, and he ain't
You
get that.
wanted to see what?
He wanted the
We gave
support.
you fucking
He wanted to.
$180 million contract.
I
What the
get that.
fuck are
I
we
get it, but he wanted to support after the fact, and he did not get it.
support? Money
Yes,
talks. Isn't that what they say?
money does not buy happiness.
Because I'm like because
Yeah,
we still writing checks that say that we support his ass.
I hear you. I hear you, but to me, it's like this. All right, I'm gonna put it in a language that everybody can understand. Because not everybody gambles, but everybody both slowly believe in the power of love, right?
I
Everybody believe
mean,
in that
that's
concept.
debatable. I don't, but I'll go with you for a second.
Okay, but it's like having like a partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you thinking that that partner is with you through better or for worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the time of you guys getting together, like the finances were in order. You know, you had the great crib and all type of stuff. Like life was good.
Yeah.
Here comes a little bit of adversity, and then basically all the love is gone. You lose the house, you lose the crib, you lose the cars. You know, you basically you're bankrupt at this point. You got nothing to your name. This person's supposed to say that they rock with you, like they gonna be your forever, your ride or die.
Yeah.
Now that times are hard, they're gone. Now that times got hard for Doc Rivers and the Sixers after Ben Simmons basically went to bed in the playoffs, they basically like, I don't know no more. Even after defending him for the longest period of time, once shit hit the fan, they ain't have his back no more.
It wasn't the first time
He
that shit
he
hit the
he knew
fan.
he knew he ain't play good. That's the thing. I'm also he know he ain't play well, but the fact that he couldn't get that support from the coaches that know that the media is gonna kill him for it.
Support. Okay, all right. We'll use your marriage analogy. You want to know how you need a constant reminder that your partner is with you through the end? You can look on your finger and see that 180 million plus ring that I bought you
Man, I don't
shows
mean
that I'm
shit.
with you to the end.
I don't mean shit.
There
Motherfuckers
is
on that shit.
the thing, the difference between Embiid and Ben Simmons is since day one, Embiid has got it. He knows what it takes to be in Philadelphia. We don't coddle here. We
I know.
show support and we show love.
And
But
then
if
y'all
you're,
and then y'all
but
boo
if
the
you're,
motherfucker as soon as they know
yeah,
no good no
yeah,
more.
are we not supposed to? If you
That's
playing like
that's the
trash,
thing.
we're going to tell you you're playing like trash. We're not like these other cities that's going to coddle you and say, "Oh well, good job, Timmy. Maybe try again." No, you was trash today. Do better. It's a reason why we're still one of the top five best sporting cities in Philadelphia and in the United States of America is because we don't take shit. All right. You are the number one draft
Y'all
pick.
definitely not ahead of New York. Y'all definitely not ahead of Boston. Y'all definitely not ahead of Texas. Dallas, but
You
to be
said
specific,
Texas?
yeah, Dallas to be specific. Y'all not ahead of Dallas.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Y'all fan base not more rabid than Cowboys fans, Mavericks fans,
Are you
Texas
serious?
football fans. If y'all in the top five, y'all number five for me.
No. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be said about I will give you Boston, New York. It could definitely be said about any of those.
LA as well.
Here's the list: LA, Boston, New York, Chicago. And
I
rounding
forgot.
out the five is Dallas.
See, I told you Dallas was up there.
But they're not better than Philadelphia. I'll tell you that right now.
You're biased, though. That's your bias talking.
I'm not biased. I'm looking at the articles right now.
I ain't hear you say Philly.
Because I ain't have to say number 3. We right there.
Whatever, bro.
But I'll get back to my... The thing is, Embiid knows what it takes to win here.
And no,
And
he does not. He did not win here.
But he knows what it takes.
He did not win. How's that where basically his whole prime has been with Ben Simmons? They won and lost together.
Whoa. And he's been dominated way before Ben Simmons.
And B only played one season without Ben Simmons in his career.
And he was still good.
Right.
But nobody's out there screaming fucking Ben Simmons' name because Ben Simmons doesn't.
But
Ben
you can't.
Simmons
But it's a contradiction because you can't say like Joel Embiid is a winner when basically the majority of his tenure has been with
No,
Ben
I
Simmons.
said he knows what it takes to win.
He does not. How's that? How's that? He has the same record as Ben Simmons.
Because he's not a fucking pussy like fucking Ben Simmons.
But he hasn't won shit.
I said he knows what it takes to win.
How?
Because he puts his heart on the line every single day.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? That's what he played injury prone?
No, he didn't.
He played with a right meniscus tear. No, he heard comments of, like he's fat, he's lazy. Last season, not last season, but the season before last. You know what he did? He got a dietitian, he got a trainer, he got a chef, he got all that. And what? He came back. I mean, damn near MVP if it wasn't for the not playing enough games. So, but the thing is that Ben Simmons sees basketball as a means to an end. He doesn't want to be great. He's okay with being just good, and that's fine. But for a city like Philadelphia, we don't accept that. I mean, you've seen with the fancy cars, the clothes, the models, trips to Wimbledon, LA, and stuff like that.
Wimbledon.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Wimbledon.
I believe I said that before.
It's Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that he's not as invested in basketball as the city of Philadelphia will like it, and that's fine, but you can do that somewhere else in a smaller market.
Okay, that's fair.
It's just he's not invested in basketball. He doesn't want to be great. He just wants to be good to pay for all his luxuries.
But good is all y'all know. Outside the Eagles and the Phillies in the late 2000s, when has the city of Philadelphia seen greatness in sports?
I mean,
always been fairly good.
No, our soccer team, and you don't want to bring up the.
You don't want to.
Let me finish. Don't do that. But you said, when's the last time we've been great? I mean, you can even say Villanova, who won the NCAA tournament.
Name 2 players from that team.
Ryan Archinato?
I know who you talk about. That's one. Who's the other?
And the dude that hit the shot. I mean, I don't watch college basketball, but I watch.
Was it Archinato the one that hit the shot?
No, he was the one. He was our point guard. I can't remember his name. Omar Spellman, but he wasn't the one that hit the shot. He plays for the the Hawks, I
Ain't
believe it
Miles
was.
wasn't Miles Bridges on that Villanova team?
I believe so.
Let me
I
look
knew
that
he
up
came
right
out of
now.
Villanova, but I don't think he was on that team. And yeah, I mean, there's a couple, but I watched that.
All
So
right.
it's you
I,
make it seem like I don't know what's your problem with Philadelphia.
I don't have a problem with Philadelphia. No, actually, Miles Bridges went to Michigan State. Mikal Bridges. Maybe Mikal Bridges is the one I'm thinking about. Yeah,
Miles
Mikal Bridges.
Bridges, yeah,
No, Miles Bridges went to Michigan State. Mikal Bridges went to Villanova.
I always
I
get
believe he
those
was
two
on the
mixed
team.
up. But I mean, like I said, he doesn't. I feel like it would be a fresh start for him to just go someplace else, a smaller market. I mean, it worked for Mikal Fultz. Maybe it'll work for
Markel Fultz.
Markel Fultz. Maybe it'll work for Ben Simmons. But I mean, Joel Embiid said it best. It's a tough city to play for, but he wouldn't want to play anywhere else. I mean, we're tough, we're gritty.
He says that now. Kyrie Irving says the same thing about Cleveland. He said the same thing about Boston.
I mean,
You can't put much stock into what these players
I
say.
mean, but you can't compare Kyrie and fucking Embiid because Kyrie doesn't know if he want to play basketball or what have you.
Kyrie, to me, he's a good brother. He has good intentions. It's just that the way he just
Yeah, the message that he try it sometimes get lost in the media and
yeah, it's like the wrong mess. It's like the right message, but the wrong messenger
yeah.
type of thing would come down to him. But let's quickly, before we wrap this up, because Michael Jordan, his draws were auctioned over the weekend, and they sold for over 2,000. Let me get the exact number. 2,000. All right,
Yeah.
$784.
Was it a significant game or was it just a regular pair of pants? I mean, a regular pair of underwear.
I think it's. I don't know if I'm assuming that they were used draws, like draws that he
Of
actually
course,
wore.
yeah. Of
So
course.
I'm just assuming that. So my question for you is this: is there a celebrity out there whose underwear you were basically
No.
paid? Okay, good. All
I
right,
mean,
so
the only person that would come close, and that's like really far stretch, would be Donald Glover. But no, I would never pay
Donald I
for
knew you was gonna say Donald Glover.
any underwear. Just
I was
never.
hope. I was hoping you would say Donald Glover.
No, why? I mean,
What you
what the fuck am I? What the fuck am I going to do with a pair of underwear? And that goes for anybody.
You just said Donald Glover though.
Yeah, but I can sell those off and make more money.
Who knows? Maybe that's what this person that won the auction is doing.
That's what I'm thinking. How much did it sell for? 200,000.
$2,784.
That doesn't seem like a lot. He's probably looking to keep them and sell them off later down the road. Was it a guy or a girl? Let's start off with that.
I don't know.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
because
know.
if it was a guy, then I'm
And,
severely
and
disappointed.
and that's bad journalism on my part because I should.
Well, no, it's no. I mean, unless you're like selling them off, then yes. But there's no reason for you to have another person's underwear just sitting up in your house in your man cave or something like that. It's just no. That's no. That's down bad.
I'm trying to see what's the sex of the person that
I
bought
mean,
it.
that's what I'm thinking. It had to be like a significant game for somebody to pay like 2K for that.
Well, nobody knows. The identification is still left to be
Probably
seen.
for the best because he's
Yeah,
probably getting tracked by his friends who he tell, I got MJ's underwear, right?
that's crazy.
No, it's
But
you don't
that's
do
great.
that.
That's great. But just to relay on something from last week, did you ever get your package?
No. Um, I ordered another one, and it finally came, but they wanted me to file a police report.
And you're too lazy to do it.
No, I went down to the police station. Let me tell you, the first time walking into the police station as a black man is probably the scariest thing you'll ever do. I mean, that shit was cops coming in and out, and I ain't do shit. I was just coming in there to file a theft claim. But man, let me tell you, scary as fuck. But
Damn.
yeah, so I had to file a police report, but they finally refunded my money.
I
I
was just about
just
to ask that as
missed,
well.
yeah, I just missed the first few shows because I was waiting to get my package hand delivered. But yeah, I will never be using that company again.
At least you got your money back. At least you got
Yeah,
your money
at
back.
least
That's
I
all that
got my money
matters.
back, and I still got the camera. So
That's cool. All right, well, we supporting where it's time to like plug ourselves on the way out. So let everybody know where they can find you on social media. Also, plug your Twitter. It's like you're on Twitter. Seem to be very active. You get into it with the people on Twitter. So what's your Twitter, Doc?
yeah. I mean, everything is right down there. I'm currently taking a break from social media to finish out this book. I've been delaying it for so long, and I'm getting to my release date, so I got to start cranking it out. But yeah,
And when is that release date? Remind the people.
I can't tell you because I feel like I'm going to change the release date again. So I don't
Oh,
want to.
okay, you're gonna Kanye us. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I learned from the best.
All right, that's cool. So your Twitter is also D.O.N
Yeah.
IE. Got
Yep.
you. And our guy, our younger Mr. Noah Austin, his social media info is on the far right. He couldn't be here today either. We was planning on having him, but travel issues and all that. He had to recover from Afro Punk, all that good stuff. But we should have him next week to get his thoughts on that. And there's a dog that's still hungry, Dom. I think you should feed it.
No, it's not my dog, but it barks 24/7.
But that might be because since you look like you're in heaven right now, that might be God, in the dog form trying to get your
I'll tell
attention.
you right now, more than likely you ain't going to happen.
You're already in it. Look at the background. I gotta end it so you can get back inside them pearly gates.
Probably a stowaway or something like that, but yeah. He's gonna break up my list of shit and just like, yo, like you denied me all your life and now you want to get in here? Nah, B.
Oh
But
God.
if you say what he is a forgiving God, maybe he'll forgive me.
Yes. Yes,
So
God
we'll
is a
see.
forgiving God. As long as you're willing to repent.
Oh.
Oh.
So he
Oh.
wants something in return. God.
Like what you mean? Like you think you can't have your cake and eat it too?
No, I just think it's weird that we have to denounce all and repent and worship only him. That's a little suspicious to me. That doesn't sound like a fair and loving God if he wants people to bow down to just him.
He's God's basically like a Scorpio. He just wants you to love him and him only.
Interesting.
That's how that goes. I think so. As for me, I want to get you. I want to pull Kenny on this podcast. Shout out to Kenny, by the way. As for me, you can find me on IG at Liddell the Fashionista. I'm also the moderator of True Urban Culture IG page. So you want to inquire about anything as far like festival coverages, any event coverages, or like tour coverages, concert coverages, anything like that. You want us to be a part of it. I'm the guy that you reach out to on that platform. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this week's edition of the Outta Bounds podcast. This was episode 20. So, we're now 20 episodes deep into this
Second
podcast.
season, episode 2. No,
Yes.
3.
Three. Wait, yeah.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
First one was with Noel 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, hopefully, we get our boy Noel back. Hope
Yeah,
I was
man.
hoping to have him, for this week that we could all celebrate the 20th episode together. But, life happens and all that type of shit. But, hey, 2/3 is still better than none. Like we're all talented in our own right. So hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. We'll catch you guys hopefully next week at full strength. But so wait, before we go, like I said, this episode was recorded before tonight's Monday Night Football game. At this episode, once the episode premieres, that game will have already been finalized. So who you got tonight? Cowboys, Eagles. Quick thoughts on that.
Come on, Eagles. Come on.
That's the bias talking. I'm saying Cowboys 31-14. What's your score?
um 30-21 Eagles.
All right, then. So we'll see next week who's closer. And we got wait, we haven't even been keeping track of the Monday night score.
I think I was the closest when I predicted the no, I wasn't because no, yeah, I
I
was.
think
I predicted the Ravens 35, I believe. Or did they win by they
the
won by one
Ravens
point,
lost.
right?
No, the Raiders beat us on that Monday night football game. The Raiders beat
Yeah,
us.
I believe that was the closest I ever came to like a prediction.
All right, so all right, well, any of y'all, if y'all tune in, y'all watch this thing faithfully, like y'all let us know. Like go back 2 episodes ago, like episode 17, no
Yeah, let
18.
us know if we're trash with our predictions because I feel like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am.
let us know. But so then, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of Out of Bounds podcast. It's always a pleasure to bring this podcast to you guys. Right now we're on the road to 200 subscribers. Like we're steadily growing, like very small, but we're getting there. So the subscribers starting to pick up. The buzz is starting to get there. So hope you guys like if you enjoyed this episode. Hope you refer to a friend, family member, spouse, whatever the case may be, your dog, anybody with a cell phone or tablet or a laptop or desktop computer. So hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell to receive all notifications for all future episodes of the Out of Bounds podcast, Tuck Talk, the Gaming Chair. We split time between Twitch and YouTube. Then we also just launched Off the Racks with our boy Noah Austin this past weekend, Saturday. So yeah, so just keep it locked with more content here on the Tuck Podcast Network. For those of you that check us out on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, we appreciate you guys. Until next time, we can see you guys next week. Peace.